motherfucker is a gold miner. We're rich boys.
Get down on your knees.
Fuck him up. We got gold.
He was a Finnish commando. He lost his home and his family in the war. He became a one-man death squad. He's one mean motherfucker that you do not want to mess with.
Hello, it's Trinidad the Island Man, your Island Man, coming to you live once again from beautiful Hawaii here on the island of Oahu, bringing you, yes you, the best movie reviews on the entire island of Oahu. And yes, this is Trinidad the Island Man, your Island Man. And yesterday, Friday, opening weekend of the last weekend of April, April 28th, I went in and saw the new movie from the producers of John Wick called SISU. And, well, remember our rating scale, shock a thumbs up. It's good to see, I recommend it. Shock a thumbs down, it's junk, I don't recommend it. And for SISU, it is overall a shock a thumbs up. What can I say about this movie? You've seen the trailer that I put there. It is one bloody romp and violent mess, going all the way back to, you know, some of the 80s blood and gore action flicks of the 80s, but even some of the 60s and 70s also. One thing is for certain, this movie goes very, very over the top. Let me just say that. It it does not hold back at all for the blood and the violence. If you enjoyed any of Evil Dead, this or even Renfield, this movie SISU goes well beyond that. It is a hard R for language and for blood and violence. You know, from the producers of John Wick, I was expecting something a little bit more John Wick-ish. I mean, we see in the trailer an elderly man pushed to his limits. Obviously, a fine fighting fit individual, and as we discover, he is a Finnish from Finland, veteran of the war against the Russians, and as World War II with the Nazis come to a close, once they steal his gold that he finds, all bets are off, and that's when the Nazis start dropping. And he does it very, very, very violently. And again, I gotta say, this is over the top. So if you like action, if you like blood and gore, you know, this is your movie. It is not dialogue heavy in the least. If you thought Keanu Reeves didn't speak much in his movies, in his John Wick movies, then you certainly, you know, discover that SISU does not speak. He almost doesn't speak the entire movie. He grunts a lot. He yells a lot, both out of anger and pain. But yes, he is pushed to the brink. And he pushes those Nazis right back. You know, there is a dog, and no spoilers of what happens to the dog, but from the producers of John Wick, you know, you're it's like, oh my goodness, what's going to happen to this dog? And well, I'm not going to spoil it for you, so. But it does have a few surprises. All right. So again, overall, a shock a thumbs up. This, as the trailer basically states, SISU, is not his name. That is not the character's name. It is a Finnish word describing white-knuckled courage, basically, in the face of great adversity. Basically, this elderly man is a Finnish soldier, veteran, that has long left the war and long left fighting. But when he was in the military destroying Russians, he basically, he was so crazy no one would work with him, and he worked alone. Everyone was afraid of him, even his own Finnish soldiers, which is why they just, okay, go out there and do your stuff. And he would systematically go out and take out whoever he needed to. But I guess during the war, his wife and his children were killed. We don't see any of that in the film. We only hear it by hearsay. Perhaps if there are sequels, we'll get a prequel to what made this man, into such a fighting force. All we get is the end result, the razor-honed knife and destructive instrument that was once a man, we see now going after these Nazis. And that's about all I can say for it. It's pretty straightforward from the trailers. It starts off, he's digging for gold. We can see elements of the fighting of World War II around him, but he's out of it. It's not any of his concern anymore as long as they don't bother him, and he's out mining, panning for gold. And as the trailer shows you, he finds it, and then the Nazis find him, and then find his gold, and take his gold, and attempt to kill him several times. And which, unfortunately for them, they fail. And they had a chance. They had a chance, just like John Wick, they had the chance to kill him early on. They missed their opportunity, not out of being nice, but out of vindictiveness, that, we'll get him worse later. And somebody gets it worse later, and it's not SISU. Well, actually, to say that is not completely true. This Finnish soldier, the hero of our story, goes through an arduous amount of bullets, blood. How he still remains alive, I have no idea. I mean, this is so over the top. Yeah, you can suspend some disbelief with John Wick because, hey, Keanu Reeves, he's got that bulletproof Kevlar suit. But he, in this movie, he doesn't have any bulletproof. He's taking hits left and right, and he's digging the bullets out of him with his knife, his rusty-ass knife. If the bullets didn't kill him, if the blood loss doesn't kill him, then he's got tetanus for sure, and he's dropping dead within the next year after this movie. Because, way over the top of how this man could survive. Rasputin himself. Now that would be a fight. Him against Rasputin. That would have been something. Maybe that can be in the prequel, because, as invincible as either one of these two are, apparently that would be a heck of a fight. Gosh, what more can I say about this? I'm just rambling, because it was kind of a rambling movie, but I do give it props for the violence, for the blood, which makes sense and how this person is. And if you go into this movie with the right mindset, again, it's not a great story. There is no any element of gosh, I want to say a cohesive story overall, other than he wants revenge against these Nazis for taking his gold. And that's it. But that's all you need for a movie like this. The best way to think of this movie is essentially that Charles Bronson once upon a time in the West. This character, our hero, is very similar to the Charles Bronson character. Very silent throughout the entire movie, just a wrecking ball walking his straight path of destruction towards whoever gets in his way and to those who wronged him and his family. And that's it. Also, if you look at this movie, if you're inclined to look at it as a Marvel movie, I would say that this movie is the best possible Old Man Logan, yes, Wolverine movie that we will ever see. Just think of this old man as Old Man Logan, decimating, one of the many stories through one of the many wars that Wolverine had been through. Just cutting his way through Nazis with or without claws, because that's what you get in this movie. And if you look at it through those rose-colored glasses, then this is the perfect Wolverine, Old Man Logan movie possible. And it would make a little bit more sense for the movie, as he does take all these bullet shots, all these bullet wounds, all this, mayhem to his body, bleeds out so much. It's amazing he's still conscious, or even still walking around with enough strength to fight. The only way to explain that away would be that he's a mutant and that he would be Wolverine. With his healing factor keeping him alive, and his, adamantium skeleton. So if you look at it in those kind of glasses there, in that perspective, this movie goes down really easy in that format. And as just a fun, although a little gruesome, I admit, for some of the depictions, they're talking Saving Private Ryan, kind of explosive, guts and intestines kind of blown out, at moments here and there throughout this movie. It is a shock, a thumbs up, just for the audacity alone for them to go with this movie. I was entertained. I may go see it again. But again, if it had a little bit richer of a story, something more to hook you, then it probably would have been a little bit better. And definitely I'd go see it again. But I'll probably go see it again just because it's, of the action alone. But I would definitely see John Wick once more, for maybe the fourth or fifth time, before I go see SISU a second time. But it's still, worth seeing, especially on streaming. This will do great legs at home, where you can watch it in the privacy of your own home, and pause it to, reflect on, oh my goodness, what the heck just happened? All right. That's about all I can say for it. SISU, shock a thumbs up. Blood, gore, violence. If that's your thing, check it out. All right. Mahalo and aloha.